Max is a very well-known sim racing commentator. You're also the principal for one of the biggest sim racing organizations or racers team in the country, right? Rabbit Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, one of the few big orgs to pick up a team, so it's quite cool that I get to manage the pro drivers a little bit, play some racing manager, I guess. It's yeah, not so much driving time, but definitely a cool opportunity, and I love the sim races.
There we go. He's the main guy. He's got all the knowledge. I'm just here for comedic relief. My name is Tekkel, and I commentate on video games sometimes.
Yeah, you don't do the Sam Tekkel right. You don't have the in the racing side. We don't really have gaming names as much, so you always have to use your real name.
So I'd just be Sam.
You'd be Sam.
That's not nearly as fun as Tekkel.
Tekkel's a little bit more exciting.
Okay, we'll discuss this afterwards. Maybe I need a racing name. We'll change it up a little bit. Let's get into the serious side though. Toyota has put up 60,000 Rand for the races you're going to see. Our pro racers and rally drivers, which you'll see a little bit later, they're competing for 15,000 Rand, but there's also an opportunity for you to win as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you can go onto a lobby and just go and submit your fastest times on whatever the stages they've set up, and fastest times qualify to go into the finals on whatever platform you're on. Terms and conditions apply. You know what to do. It's on the website. Just go and start racing. I mean, I've been having fun jumping. I know you've been streaming a little bit and getting into the WRC life, so everybody should just give it a bash.
It's tons of fun, and of course, if you make it through to stage 2, because the fastest time each week will qualify no matter what platform you're on, so PlayStation, Xbox, or PC, you get to race in stage number 2, and we'll get to commentate on your racing as well.
I mean, I don't know if they should want us to commentate on it. Sometimes we're a bit mean. If you don't finish stages, we can be a bit mean. I mean, we saw last week we put some pressure on, so hopefully all our drivers they brought their A game this time around.
Last week, the professional Toyota Gazoo Racing team drivers, not one of them finished.
And Tekkel was very quick to point it out as well. So she highlighted the fact that they didn't finish, and she wanted to see some finishes in this week. So
I'm hoping that we'll see some finishes, because they're real. They're racing these rally cars real. And don't get me wrong, I think that they're probably spending a lot of time doing that. So maybe they didn't have some time to practice the game. But this week, I want to see the competitive spirit come out. Let's explain the format. So if you've just joined us and this is the first time you're watching, we've got some of the best South African sim racers, some of your team in the mix.
I mean,
as well.
it's a little bit biased there for sure. I mean, I'm going to definitely call it the top sim racers from my team for sure. You know, Bruno Kadili, Jason Absmeyer up in the mix, and then of course Alaric Enslin and Charles Wilkin, big names in the rally side as well as the grip side. You know, representing whatever orgs they currently doing at the moment. I think Ulti represents RPM, some international org, and I believe Charles is driving for a team called Sarko locally. So I mean, they're all top of their game. They've been putting the time and effort in. I mean, I've been honestly putting time in myself, trying to, you know, validate the fact that I want my drivers to go faster. I mean, they smashed my time, so yeah, I'm down at the bottom of the leaderboard.
They're quick fast. These are professional sim racers. If you play WRC 9, if you go onto the global rankings of some of these stages, they're up there in the top 10, the top 5, super fast, but they're being split into 2 lobbies, and then they're joined by the Toyota Gazoo Racing team. So the real rally drivers are now getting behind the sim wheel, and they're going to try and see if they can go faster than them.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you mentioned before, I think the guys that do it in real life, they've got other commitments, and it's a difficult learning curve coming over. And I think we saw when we were at our first stage in Kenya, they were learning the nuances of how difficult it can be, those time penalties that you get, the damage that you get to your car. And things don't get easier tonight. I mean, they're going up at Japan in the wet for a stage that is, I mean, you've tried it, I've tried it. We know how difficult it is to get a clean run. Now you've got to go up on the pressure point of doing this live and do it in front of people, have a clean run and get your fastest time. So I mean, it's a little bit more difficult than what the public get to do. I mean, the public get to go and restart and restart and restart. You can just submit a time and that's you done. You can qualify in, and then you'll get to the same sort of stage where you have to do this live. These guys get put into a lobby. It's a one-shot opportunity. You don't get to remake it. You just get to do it there. If you get a DNF, you get a DNF. That's your points gone for the week.
A lot of people might not know when it comes to this video game, those weather conditions make all the difference in how you have to drive. Also, you can damage your car, and when you damage your car, it changes the way you have to drive. So you've got a lot of those like real world situations coming into game as well that you need to consider.
Yeah, it's a simulator / a game. Simcade is kind of where WRC fits into things. It's accessible to people on a controller, but if you want to play it on a wheel, you get that same simulator feel. But the rain on a track like Japan. I almost said Suzuka from the grip side, which is also a Japanese track, but a grip racing side. But I mean, in a circuit like what they've picked out here for Japan, it is a stage that just has so many different factors. I mean, starts off a little bit slow and twisties, got some fast sections, and then you're back on the brakes again. So it kind of, you're on your toes the entire time.
It's a really difficult track. I've tried to race it. I find the road's really narrow. There's not a lot of space. So if you do go off the road, there's these weird potholes. Sometimes there's the hills because it is a little bit up and down. So you've got to stay on track and you've got to be really focused because of those tight turns. We'll see how all our drivers deal with it when we jump in. But don't forget there's also a third lobby right at the end. So some familiar faces, some celebs. A little bit of comic relief maybe after the seriousness.
Yeah, the influencers lobby is there for some fun. And I mean, people might wonder, why these people are on here and doing the rally side of things. And it's because the fact that they are all very formidable names in the industry and they all do their part. So having them compete in something that's kind of out of their comfort zone, it's so cool that they are happy to adapt, spend some time to come and play a sim. So, appreciation for those guys that are just putting the time and effort to spend their time to make something like, for us, is something completely just comic relief and fun.
It's fun. It shows you that the game's fun. It also shows that you can do it as well. This is the first stage, and how this works is you want to get the fastest time each week because you get points on the board, and the top 4, I suppose, leaders on that board will go through to stage number 2 when it comes to our pro sim racers versus our rally drivers, the influencers as well. So let's take a look at that leaderboard now. Of course, we've only got 1 week to go on.
Yeah, we've only got this 1 week to go, and as you can see, Alaric beating Charles Wilkin, that was that race that we just saw go down to the line. Less than a second separated them in their times there. Third place to Jason Absmeyer and Bruno Kedili coming up in 4th place for the sim racers. So those are all the drivers that managed to set their times. And then of course, Sam, we've got the pro drivers there from 5th down to 9th.
Michael's going to be wanting to improve on that points finish. He's not going to be happy about sitting on 2. And I think what you can see when you look at this board specifically is that these guys, they didn't finish, they didn't have the greatest time, but I think hopefully they've got used to it. Now they're competitive rally drivers. You know that they're not going to let these sim guys take them down. So I think that they'll come in fighting today.
Oh, absolutely. And then, I mean, still to round off the influencers there, they also get scored, which is quite cool. Of course, Ryan Kankowski leading up the influencers. So, I mean, do you think he's going to come in with a bit of a, something to prove? He wants to stay at the top?
I think because he comes from that rugby background, super competitive, played for his country, he doesn't like losing. Wasabi, he doesn't want to lose, but he's a YouTuber, he also wants to have some fun. Brent Nindiku at the bottom over there, he's the good things guy. It's a good time for him, but I think Ryan is in it to win it. He's super serious. I also think we need to keep an eye on Simon and Mojak because both of them looked really serious last week as well.
I was going to say Mojak is someone for me that we have to just keep our eyes on. And of course, Pippa. I mean, last week, Miss Conservative, she finished up in 3rd place. She was being fed snacks as she drove. Hopefully this time round she has someone to keep her calm at the daunting circuit of Japan. In the rain. I think Simon, I heard a little birdie told me in one of the lobbies that Simon was very serious last week about getting more practice in. Okay.
So maybe he's been doing that and he'll surprise us. I think though, we need to jump into that first lobby. Professional rally racers up against our sim racers, and we get to see the 2 fast gents at the top of that leaderboard battle it out right at the get-go in lobby 1, because I do believe Charles and Alaric are going to be in the mix.
Yeah, you're right. We've got Alaric Enslin, of course, Charles Wilkin, and then Henk Laterkhan and Guy Bottrell, who are all facing off here. They went 2nd, I believe, last week, so getting to see our top 2 at the start of the stream is going to be absolutely cool. So as we wait for them to get ready, we pretty much are ready to go live for our first race.
Ready to go. We're waiting to find out if they're ready to go, and I do believe they are. I'm really excited for this one. I'm sure the nerves are going. It's always difficult to be first, and they know Charles and Alaric are going to be battling it out. Last week we saw them. I think at one point Alaric was just sniffing the exhaust of Charles before he overtook him. So let's see if we get a similar battle in the rain, or if this rainy track, the twisty turny track, throws a few surprises in the mix. Countdown begins. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see there that green box around Alaric, because that's who we're watching to begin with. It's so cool that you get to see them driving, and now as you start this, you want to go pretty fast because this is a space for you to make up some time before that first difficult turn.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's all flat out before getting onto that handbrake for that sharp right hander. You see Charles' POV as he makes it look effortless coming through. It is just a flat out shootout between Charles and Alaric at this point. Look at Guy and Henk though. They're not far behind them at this stage. Early on can be so easy to lose position. Charles now still through the narrow sections holding the lead over Alaric Ensslin, and Alaric literally less than a second behind him. We see Alaric's ghost when we switch to that POV. He's that blue WRC car. Charles here is really looking cool, calm and collected in the seat. Alaric looking like he's pulling out all the concentration, and Henk now needs to find time.
Did Henk not see the pole? It was right there, Henk. Come on.
Henk now has a lot of time to make up. I think he picked up a time penalty having to reset the car as well. So you see him now 17 seconds behind the likes of Alaric Ensslin at this point. Alaric still trying to chase down onto Charles. Charles is second up the road as they get into this forest section now. So tight and twisty. The rain makes it so difficult to see as well. And
does that rain also affect the turns? Because I mean, that's I think what happened there with Henk, is that the car isn't sitting as firmly on the ground.
I think it's exactly what's happened there, and I think you have to remember that as soon as your car starts to slide, you don't have much to do with it. You have to get back onto that accelerator pedal to try and get the grip through, and that can just mean you go straight into the side. So Henk's still trying and find some time. He's lost it again. I mean, and like you said, it seems to be the wet catching him out just a little bit. Ensslin still 1.7 seconds off behind Charles here. So I mean, Ensslin, after winning last week's stage here, chasing down Charles, doesn't want to let him get a points lead or try and get away from him. Charles going through that fast section now. I talked about this with you before when we were running through our practice sessions together. And I mean, this is now that narrow, tight, fast, windy section. You want your car to be undamaged. You see that Charles' car is undamaged at this point, and it's really just winding it through the gearbox. Watch his speed climb, watch Alaric's speed climb, and we see a difference in gears being used here. Alaric going a little bit later into 5th, Charles already going up into 6th gear, almost hitting that 180 kilometer an hour mark.
That works in his favor though, because you saw him pull ahead just a little bit there on the time, so maybe the smarter way to play it?
Yeah, I mean, it's that gear ratio, trying to go a little bit longer with the gears there, and looks like, unfortunately for Henk, he's definitely off the pace at the moment. He's struggling for grip. He's also now damaged his car. Looks like just a bit of aero damage after colliding with the side banister there. It's not going to impact him too much, but as soon as he gets any damage to that suspension or those brakes, it's going to be terrible. Now it's the climb again. Sam, this is where, again, it gets so tight and narrow, you cannot connect with anything on the wall. And Alaric, just a couple of car lengths behind here, still trying to chase Charles down, but Charles just having such a great run at the moment.
Charles looks flawless as he goes, but I want to point out Guy, who's sitting there in 3rd. This is a much better run from him than what we saw last week. He's not as close as I would like, but he seems to be doing quite a good job. Oh, what just happened there? Ulti had a crash?
Yeah, I think Alaric, just on the one of the hairpins coming back up towards the finish line in the final sector, has collected the wall. That's going to drop him down. You see him now 5 seconds behind Charles. Charles doing a great job here. He literally has 3 corners to go before he gets to the finish line. And this is a decent time coming out from Charles. I mean, 3:40 on the clock at the moment. And it's looking like he's going to get a sub 350. He gets a 3:44, it looked like, on the clock. Alaric then coming up into 2nd place, going to chase him down. Finishes before the time kicks down. Will Guy now round things up? He's got 20 seconds to get to the line.
20 seconds, Guy. You can't mess up now. I think Henk, I don't know if Henk's going to be able to do it. I think he's way too far off, but Guy might just be able to do it. 10 seconds to go, though.
It's so close. He gets a good exit out of that hairpin now. Just 2 more hairpins to go. Oh, he's overcooked it a tiny bit. Needs to get onto the throttle pedal. Will he cross it? He does get across the line.
1 second, Guy. 1 second, but he does it. He finishes. We have a Toyota Gazoo Racing driver who has finished. Unfortunately for Henk, just couldn't seem to get a feel for the rain, but I want to cheer for Guy because this is the first time we've seen one of our real rally drivers finish. However, saying all of that, Alaric's going to be kicking himself for that mistake in the hairpin. Do you think he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that? I don't think Alaric's going to be happy with that. I know him, he's a perfectionist. Charles, flawless run, but Alti's not going to be happy about that little crash.
Yeah, I think for Alaric it was almost like in reach, and then coming into the final sector, you just had to push to try and get right to the line, and in doing so, he brakes a little bit late for that hairpin, caught the balustrade, and it's an unforgiving game rally, and that time deficit is going to... it's not like they're counting time at the end of each lobby, so it's for points. So you finish in second or third, we still got to see where Jason and Bruno come up and stack against Charles and Alaric's times. But yeah, I mean, Alaric needs to now know that if Jason and Bruno have a flawless run, then potentially his spot is up for grabs in this stage.
That's the thing, it's all about getting the fastest time you possibly can, running those perfect runs. Charles, though, flawless. He'll be happy because obviously last week Alaric was able to pick him at the post, and I'm 100% sure that Guy's going to be celebrating because he finished this time.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of put the pressure on. Guy Brotchell does come in, finishes our first Toyota Gazoo driver to get a finish and a stage finish, and we did say it was a more difficult stage coming over here from last week in the rain, and they definitely pulled their socks up.
He's been doing some practicing. Will we get another one? That is the question. Will our other drivers be able to finish as well? I'm hearing that we're ready to go into lobby 2. I want to see this now. I also want to see how Jason and Bruno do. A little bit slower than Charles and Alti last week. Maybe they can be a bit faster this time. They've got that opportunity because of that mistake from Alti.
I mean, it's going to be all the pressure now. They go second up. Not sure if they've even heard the results that have gone down before them. So for them, it's complete pressure on. They know that these are the top 2 guys that have gone before them in the World Rally side of things. All the pressure on the White Rabbit Gaming gents.
Janelle, Michael and Mandla are at Toyota Gazoo Racers, getting ready now to jump into lobby number 2 alongside Jason and Bruno. These are your boys. You manage them, so you got to be excited about this.
I'm always excited about any sort of White Rabbit representation in sim racing, and something a little bit different in the rally scene. These guys have been enjoying it and waiting for our guys to give us the ready to go signal, and we should get the countdown anytime now, Tech Girl.
How do you think the rain is going to affect them? Okay, we're going there. It is 3, 2... Now we get to see how the rain affects Bruno. He's the first one that we get to see that camera crew. We quickly moved over to Michael. All very close to start off on that open end, but you can see someone leaping ahead.
Jason definitely getting a better run off the line there to begin with. Definitely been fiddling with some settings there to do so. Bruno, a bit of a strange angle, a horrible angle coming out. Bruno connecting with the wall there. He's dropped it all the way down to 5th place. That's allowed Van Rooyen and Manlet to get themselves through.
If Alti's watching this, he's going to be celebrating. What happened there? Because that's not a mistake you would normally see from Bruno.
I mean, it's a tough stage. I think it's all on the line. It's the only lobby you don't get a reset. So maybe a bit of nerves coming through, and it's all about the focus. So now plenty of time to make it up. We're going to see Michael now trying to go through the first hairpin. Has collided with the pole there as well.
Can I not see that pole? Can our Toyota Gazoo drivers not see that pole? It's the same pole that we saw earlier.
I mean, I've personally attempted this. I've had the same issues. Mandla then mounting the curb as well. That's going to allow Bruno to get back past. It's also allowed him to get past Michael too. So Bruno, after a struggled start, has managed to get himself back on the circuit and get himself up towards chasing Jason, but Jason at the moment just running away. Jason is having a phenomenal race.
It doesn't even look like that track is wet. It doesn't even look, I mean, when you watch Jason drive there, he just doesn't even seem to... Sometimes I don't even think it's like his car is actually even on the road, but he's doing an incredible job, but you can see them making the difference. Bruno is trying everything he can to catch up, but I do like that the Toyota Gazoo Racers are up there as well. They're still in that bunch. They haven't backed off. Maybe they're going to be able to finish. Maybe one of them can even, with Bruno making that mistake.
There we see Michael, chasing down the likes of Bruno. He's still got his car in shot, and all of the drivers actually still in a line as we come through the second sector. Starting the third sector now, this is where things start to get really intense. You start to really wind things up. Jason getting the optimum line, carrying a lot of speed coming through, doesn't go into the rice paddies either on the left side, so managing to carry a lot of speed through, has even found an extra second. Bruno with a little bit of a cut coming through, and unfortunately for him there, that's going to impact his time. So Jason getting that run up, and Mandla, he talked about it, those rice paddies, they can catch you off, and he's been caught off guard there. Luckily, no damage done to his car though, so
Oh, as you say that, he hits the rocks. I think he's going to regret that in a little bit. Could have caused some damage. We'll see in a bit. Jason just flowing right ahead of everyone, powering down here. Look at the gap that he's getting.
I mean, he's carrying a lot of that drive through. He really is having a good run at the moment. We saw him through one of those hairpins, maybe over cooking it a tiny bit, but bar that, he really has had a great run so far. So this could be on the money to rival the likes of Alaric or potentially Charles. I mean, Charles really is a beast to try and catch up to. Mandla on board for him briefly before switching back to our leader, Jason, at this point. So this first hairpin that you go through, you have to take. There's no way you can get away with not using your handbrake. The second hairpin, though, that Jason's approaching now, you'll see they don't actually go through the hairpin, they cut straight over it. There's the cut. So you come across, and a lot of the other drivers would probably still be trying to use the hairpin. So there's a couple of seconds for the Toyota guys to find on these circuits, even watching back with these guys as they drive through. Bruno mounting the chase onto Jason, but Jason is just so far up the road at this point that it's just really holding back the likes of Van Rooyen getting to the finish line. But those Toyota Gazoo Racers, I mean, they're all within the same splits of each other. There's only 4 seconds between Van Rooyen and De Villiers, and 5 seconds between Mandla and De Villiers. So it's close, Sam.
It is close, and I can't believe, I mean, Jason's about to finish flawless drive, but Bruno, let's talk about him, how he came from 4th place. Look at the difference he was able to do. 25 seconds for him to finish. I'm pretty sure he's going to do it, but that's just really impressive the way he was able to claw back after that early mistake.
Yeah, I mean, he has recovered. Oh, a little bit of a struggled finish there. Does cross the line. I mean, Jason goes and does a 3:46.5 when he goes over the line. Michael is going to be another Toyota Gazoo driver to finish here. Will Janelle also add to that list? 4 seconds on the list. Janelle also finishes up. Now Mandla, he might not make it through. Oh, he's not going to be at the line, but I mean,
he was a second away, if even. Mandla so close. I thought we were going to see 3 of our Gazoo Racers finish. Oh no, Mandla, my heart breaks for you. What an incredible finish from Jason. Flawless round. Obviously chasing Alti and Charles from last week. Putting in a little bit of practice maybe. But for me, the Toyota Gazoo racing team, you can see professional rally racers. I know that they spend some time in the evenings. They were like, we need to practice this now, because their driving improved, and they were close in that second lobby. They were close.
They really were close there. I mean, I'm beaming myself. That was such a good drive coming out from Jason at 3:46.5. I think that actually even beats Alaric's time. I think his incident that he had on the round that we just watched him do at the end, I think that was the one that caught him out there. So we have to confirm, we'll have to double check with the leaderboards, but I'm pretty sure that's a solid time from Jason. So I'm super stoked as the biased caster as I would be.
The biased caster. No, but I mean, I think what's great about this is watching, for me, how incredibly fast they were on a completely different track, different weather conditions. Our pro sim racers proved why they are the best at this, but more excited as well to see our Gazoo drivers starting to finish, starting to compete with them. Stage 3, I think these guys need to start watching. They're going to have to watch their backs. They're not going to be worrying about each other anymore. They're going to be worrying about those rally races, because they're coming for them. I
mean, we did say it at the start. They have to adapt. They have to get used to this whole thing that is sim racing. It's a whole new environment. So I think for them, it's been a time of practice. Like, there's no ways that they did no practice between Kenya and tonight, because you can see there was less crashes, there was less resets, and the guys really were putting in. If we hadn't had those pesky telephone poles, completely different story. Jason and Bruno might have lost out there.
For sure. That telephone pole, I'm going to go and remove it. Don't you worry. We'll be able to pull up an actual full leaderboard with the points at the end of the show, I believe we'll be able to get that. But now for the fun bits, because our influencers, our YouTubers, our rugby stars, do you think we're going to get times like this week?
In the wets?
I mean, I raced on this in the wets to give it a go earlier this week. And
give us some times.
First time ever playing WRC9, did not finish, destroyed the car.
Okay, so it sets a good precedent for what we're about to see.
You've done better than me. That's it. Here we go. Here they are. You'll recognize some of these faces. The First Lady of Gaming, Pippa, she's in the mix. The Good Things guy, Brent Lindeque. We got YouTuber OK Wasabi there. Comedian Simon. does everything really well, Mojak, and Ryan Kankowski, our rugby player.
Yeah, he was last week's influencer winner at Kenya, so he's going to be taking it seriously.
No, Brent!
I mean, at the start, it's already going to shambles. Pippa's also spun it round, so Brent is going to get a position back off of Pippa coming through there, I think, but he's already looking all squiggly. He's connected with the pole. Wasabi.
Into the wall.
Into the wall. An instant reset from him as well. That's going to allow Mojak the lead, but Simon, a surprise entry. He's had a clean run at the start. He's left all his other influences to play behind. Oh, I said that.
This is a bit like watching bumper cars,
I mean,
as opposed to WRC. They're just getting a feel for the track. I think with it being a little bit when these turns are really difficult, and what happens here as well is the roads are narrow, so there's no space for a mistake.
There is no space for a mistake, and if you're overcorrecting with the cars we see these guys often doing, it is going to put you off. So coming in through, and not bad coming through, the eSports professional line coming through there as well. And unfortunately, Brent hasn't quite got there. He's actually parked his car on top of a low-lying wall.
He thought he would just go take the sides. He was like, let's just have a little park here. He's just having a look. He was just chilling out. I told you, he likes the scenery. Ryan, though, looking really good. He's trying to move it there.
Oh, Pippa's connected with one of those drain gutters that you talked about earlier on, and she's now lost control of that car. But it has got it back on circuit. Looks like Wasabi and Pippa going to be head and tail as they go into the forest section. And Pippa going to blaze through. She's not waiting for anybody. And we see Brent has finally got the car off the low-lying wall, but unfortunately dropping quite far behind his fellow influencers. Ryan, serious as ever. He's in the cockpit view there. Windscreen wipers going wild.
Ryan wants to win this. I think Mojak looks a little bit competitive here as well. He's also trying to figure it out. Pippa looks very focused. I like how all these faces are very serious. Oh, Pippa into the barrier there.
Pippa not seeing the turn. She's going to do a 360 reverse entry. Luckily, no cars making collision with each other whilst they coasted, but
Pippa's solution to fixing that turn is to use the rocks and roll, and she goes right on down the side.
The fact that Pippa picked up no damage from that is something that I would like to question. I mean, she literally
she did it with
through.
style.
I mean, Ryan's picked up a little bit of aero damage, but he's flying up at the front there. There's Mojak going to be taking the battle through to him. So once again, Mojak and Ryan Kankowski are the two fighting it out at the front of the pack.
You take a look here. Simon is trying his best, but the damage to Simon's car is just too much. And this is what you were saying. You need to be very aware of that as you enter this, as you move towards the end of this race, is that you don't want a damaged car. You
don't want to damage its car. You don't want to hit into little signposts. They all just slow you down and do some damage. Ryan smashing into the side of the barrier. It looked like, I don't think it was actually Ryan that we saw coming through there. It was a quick camera change coming through, but Brent, did you see how visibly upset he was at rolling the car? I think it's overs for him. Is it overs for him?
I don't think it's over yet, but he should be upset about how much damage he's done, because it's going to be over really soon if he continues like that. Simon now looking very serious. I think that we need to be watching Ryan and Mojak though at the top there. That is where the fight is happening. As I say that, Mojak clearly looks like he's been putting in some work, and they're really opening it up. They're not afraid to go fast, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, those sections here, or I mean, these sections through the forest are where you have to really get the pace going and then get late onto the brakes for the hairpins, and a very bumpy POV from Ryan. You see him just trying to get as much of the track as he can and try and cut as much as he really possibly can make out in his rally car. And it looks like Mojak is going to just hold. He is closing down, so that 3-second gap is slowly catching. And if Ryan makes a small mistake on this mountain section, I mean, it's a closing sector of the stage. They are coming up the mountain. It is very difficult. If you touch a wall, make one of those errors. Look at Mojak. He's catching 2 seconds now, the gap between the two of them. Ryan has to focus coming through, and he doesn't look 100% focused at this point.
He doesn't look 100% focused, but this is close. This is the fight that we've been wanting. The two of them have clearly been putting in the work, battling it out as they move towards the finish. It is going to be a Ryan Mojak fight to the end. Who is going to take it? Look how close Mojak was to him, though, just a hair's breadth away.
Yeah, I mean, he's right behind him, and Ryan going to take the victory. It looked like Mojak crosses the line as well, and it's now sort of the battle for pride. A very damaged car for Simon, very undamaged car for OK Wasabi. Only picking up Brent's car looks like looks like it would never have made the stage, even if the stage was
Brent
shorter.
should pass, but the others, I don't think they're going to finish. They got like 5 seconds, and to be honest, if you look at all of them, they're just nowhere close at all. And
we
the
can only
cars
see
are
two-
so damaged.
2 finishes coming out, Sam?
2 finishes. It was Ryan and Mojak. Everyone else. What just happened?
Oh, we hear them. We hear them in the background.
Do it again as well. It's up to you.
They were completely upset by that.
Well, except Brent. Brent says that we should. I don't know if you had a chance to hear that, but he says he should get rewarded for consistency.
Rewarded for consistency.
We'll give it to you. I can't understand what just happened. Watching that, none of our, well, 2 influencers finished, the others all unable to. I mean, between Simon and Brent, those cars were right off. I thought maybe Wasabi and Pippa might be able to pull something through, but again, just not fast enough. Battling maybe with the rain. It was a really difficult stage. Let's give it to them.
Yeah.
We even saw our pro sim racers making a couple of mistakes.
I mean, I didn't expect so many DNFs from the influencers. I thought we would get a couple more. You know, maybe take it a bit slower, like a slower approach to maybe get to the line.
Is that the idea though? I mean, we heard them there at the end of that race all chatting to each other, and they kind of, they all seem a little bit taken aback, a little bit upset as well that they haven't had a chance to finish, except Ryan. I'm pretty sure he's grinning from ear to ear. That's his second victory in 2 weeks.
An easy victory coming out from Ryan. So I think he's pretty stoked that he has no one else to really compete against him.
Do you think though that maybe it is a bit more difficult compared to what we were racing on with the rain, all the turns? Is that something that really throws you?
But I mean, did you just hear what they told us?
Wait, what?
Did you hear what they've just told us?
So we're just listening to production? Okay,
So-
alright.
As I don't want to say as predicted, but I mean,
You know when you're a celebrity, this is so let's we're getting some stuff in our ears, but I think we've got the gist of it. When you're a celebrity, it turns out you can have the rules changed. Is that what's just happened? Because that's the impression
this
I'm
is
getting.
what they're saying to me in my ear. I don't know if you're getting different messages, but basically they're saying that they get to rerun this without rain.
No more rain. We're gonna give them a second. Okay, this is all fun. It is fun. So I mean, we want to see everyone finish. I'd love to see Brent finish today. So maybe that's the easier way to go. We're gonna redo this. That's what they've decided. The third lobby is gonna be redone. No rain, so that our influencers have a second go.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just waiting for them to remake it because they now have to change all the settings.
And start
Have
all
to
over
take the
again.
rain away, which is... I mean, I feel a bit disgusted as a rally tryhard. I feel
Really?
like-
You're not happy about the rain being taken away?
I mean, I don't want the influencers to hate me, so...
I mean, I just said that because they're
You just want to be
celebrities.
friends with them.
You want to be friends with them. I'm giving them a hard time. But no, okay, this is meant to be fun. A lot of these celebrities / influencers, they're not professional gamers. We've invited them into our land, so we're gonna try and welcome
Make
them
it
as
a
much
little
as
bit
possible.
more accessible.
We say that though, but G and I know this track is tough.
This
Rain
track is
or
tough.
no rain, do you think it's gonna make much of a difference? Okay, he said what he has to
I
say.
don't know.
They're readying up. It turns out we are going to be able to jump in.
At some point, hopefully, we'll be able to jump in. I mean,
You can hear a bunch of giggling because you know that these guys are they're gonna give it hell now. I think. Also, I'm sure Ryan must not be happy. Our professional rugby player. You know he's super competitive. He just came first. He's not gonna want to redo this and have to do that again.
no. He. I mean, if he can do it in the wet, he's going to be able to do it in the dry. And yes, they are getting ready. We get the countdown. They're all ready to go. It's dry. There's no rain. And it's the Japan stage for the influencers. Week 2 of the Toyota eSports Challenge in WRC. And of
Nice
course, our
little-
fun round.
Our fun round, some sunshine, nice and pretty, all very close as they come to this first turn, but we've seen it cause damage before. I think it's going to cause some more damage.
Oh, Ryan's still going to be leading away up at the front. It looks like at the start. He's still got Mojak behind him, so still definitely
Ryan, no!
Ryan has smashed into a pole at the start here. That's given the lead straight over to Mojak. Unexpected Pippa slots into second. Wasabi third. Simon fourth. And Brent still didn't get a free position off of that. He seemed to have had an incident right at the start. So I'm not sure that you're going to get your wishes for Brent to get his best stage here at the moment. And someone else was off the track there. Wasabi into the tree too. Mojak having a good clean run at the front. And the same for Pippi. I mean, she's just making it look cool, calm, and collected. I think at this point, she's actually even overtaken Mojak. I'm not sure if we even see him on the timing splits.
Oh, as you say that though, she takes a little stop there at the shop in the town. Obviously needed to go and get some snacky supplies. She shakes her head. She's not happy about that. Mojak now jumping in here. This is the thing. This is his opportunity. He was so close to Ryan in the rain. This is his chance to make a bit of a distance.
No! Woo! Yes, go. Almost.
Nice little roll there.
I mean, it almost landed on the wheels itself. Looking back at Brent, he's now... No, he didn't even attempt to brake for the chicane. He hits it at full speed and then just reverses round.
Interesting story about Brent that I have to share. That Brent has actually been in a real rally car. I've seen the video. He was the navigator for one of the Toyota Racers.
I don't want to be in that car ever.
No, but they won. This is the thing. I don't understand. Brent, you know what to do. What is happening here? Okay, let's get back into the race.
Let's get back into the race. I mean, Wasabi are chasing down Pippa. Pippa having a great run up in front. Nothing like what Mojak's having. He's definitely holding off the likes of Ryan. Ryan is on the hunt. He's 13 seconds behind Mojak though, and Mojak's starting to get into that phase of Japan where you can start to wind things up. Brent's still out in the forest at the very start.
Damage on that car though, Brent. You've got to stop bashing into things. Ryan is fighting. He is fighting now.
Everything is actually damaged on Brent's car, just to give you an update.
Every component. Everything is damaged on Brent's car.
And he's looking like his soul is even... It's definitely more damage now.
Okay, Pippa taking this turn really slow. Now's her chance. She can open up. You can see she's got no damage. It's like you said, that's that open space. She can make up some time.
Simon too, but oh no! He's actually not where you'd start to wind things up. He's collided, and he's also going to damage his suspension.
Through the nice big arch though, just like really arty.
It was
really
graceful.
Cool.
It was graceful. Mojak doesn't care about art and grace. He just cares about speed and concentration. Pippa also doing the same. I mean, she's winding it here in fifth gear. She's definitely not holding back. It's not a casual and easy run. Still wanting to be competitive, and up in second place at the moment, getting herself some good points if things were to finish now. So gotta just see out the rest of the stage. They really are only halfway through that second last sector. And Mojak's POV on board with him. We see him coming up to those chicanes that we mentioned as you start the climb up the mountain, and nobody really in sight for him. So it's really a battle between Pippa and the likes of Ryan for that second and third position spots and the points difference.
I do think Ryan fell down to what, 5th place? He's fighting his way back, but he's not going to be happy. He had the victory in the rain. You know he's competitive. He can smell blood. He can smell Mojak and Pippa. He knows he has to catch it. But Pippa now, we see her, she's just taking it really slow, but I like this. The way it's working for her, it is working. She's not crashing. She's keeping the car in one piece, and it allows her to open up in certain spaces.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. They just need to get to the line at the end of the day. I mean, they struggled in the rain. They've been given this opportunity. You need to try and get those points in. And Wasabi taking a very alternate line through the chicane, as is Simon. A reverse entry coming in before the hairpin. So Simon trying to show off some tricks, trying to get noticed by Ken Block. Brent,
that is your car, Brent. That's what happens when you hit so many things.
So it looks like he is going to go to the smash, and Mojak...
Why is he celebrating? You rode off the car.
He's not celebrating. He's upset celebrating. And Mojak, who should be celebrating, is just looking ever so seriously at the screen. He's also waiting for the timing splits like we are to see the final updates. 12 seconds for Pippa to get to the line. So she should get second place here. And then, of course, the likes of Ryan going to cross the line as well. Will he get to the line? Will Wasabi get to the line? Oh, it's going to come down. Oh, so there we get it. We do see the line come through. And
Ryan able to finish, so he's going to be... I don't think he'll be happy with that. A third place for him. He's not going to be happy. He won in the rain. He's not going to be happy about that. I think that Mojak's going to be celebrating. Pippa's definitely going to be happy. But of course, Simon, OK, Wasabi, and Brent not able to finish. What?
So still, I mean, the rain gone, the dry comes through, and then suddenly we get a complete shift up. I mean, Mojak is going to be stoked. He had a second place in the wet, first place in the dry. Kankowski, first place in the wet, third place in the dry. And unexpected Pippa going to come and get a surprise second place finish in lobby 2 after the first one was just a DNF. So, I mean, she's getting all the points. She's stoked about it. And I don't think Ryan's going to be too happy with his drive performance. It was all at the start.
I think I understand Pippa's gameplay though, right? So Ryan and Mojack are battling it out. There's clearly this battle between them. They've been hitting first and second. Pippa's like, I'm just going to take it cool here. I'm going to play around in third. By stage 4, they'll take each other out. They'll be trying to beat each other. They'll be going too fast. I'm just going to play my cool game. I think she's the one we need to watch. Pippa is going to be the big upset.
Okay, I mean, you've heard it here first, and I mean, it was a great influencer lobby. Considering we got to see 2 races from them, I'm pretty happy with that.
I like seeing all the crashes. I'm not going to lie. It makes me laugh. I like their reactions to the crashes. I like all the flips and the turns and the mountain climbing. I mean, they really take a creative look at WRC9.
I mean, the influencers lines were definitely all filled with creativity, that's for sure.
I am excited. We saw Japan. What an upset that caused. We got to see some Gazoo racing drivers finish. I can see that they've been practicing. You can see they're getting better. We got to watch bumper cars. I'm going to call it extreme bumper cars.
Virtual ghosted bumper cars.
Virtual ghosted
they just take
bumper
themselves
cars.
out.
Yeah, from our influencers. And what more are we going to get in stage number 3? That is what I cannot wait. That Mojack, Ryan Kankowski battle, the Alaric Shaw battle, the chance that guy might be able to knock either Jason or Bruno out of one of those top 4 spots. That's all going to happen, but not tonight.
No. We're going to have to wait and see.
We are going to have to wait and see as we move into week number 3. We'll be back at the same time. And if you're enjoying this, if you're having fun, if you want to get involved, throw out a couple of bants, maybe some support, maybe you've got some driving tips for our races, then make sure you use the hashtag Toyota eSports Challenge and see, like, maybe you can help. I definitely think Hank could do some tips. So maybe drop on that hashtag, give Hank some tips. Let's see if we can get him higher.
I'm pretty sure all these guys have driver pages on Facebook and things. Go give a like, go and show some support and hit them up with a message, and maybe you can give them some WRC tips as well.
It's going to be tons of fun. Next week we will be back, and right now what we're going to do is try and practice, because I'm starting to worry that if we keep giving the influencers such a hard time, they're going to make us race against them.
If they make us race the influencers, we are in for a bad time. So we are going to have to go and get some practice in.
We're going to go race. We'll see you next week.